Yes, people, myself TS, welcome back to another NoFilterTS. And in this one, people might think, right, why is this English guy talking about it? But I see the whole thing with Choke, No Joke, and 50 Cent's son. And yeah, man, for years, people have asked 50 in interviews, with your older son Marquis, like your relationship, and 50's like, he's basically been brainwashed by his mum and that. And the way my man was talking in that thing, he sounds like someone that's been brainwashed by his mum. And truth be told, 50 said at times that, he's a man that, is still been provided for up until he got to a certain age and that. But he'd be like, your mum would be like, you should have more. And his whole demeanour of how he was moving in that thing sounded like someone like, yes, I deserve more. And at the end of the day, for most people, we only see what's out there in the public eye. Obviously, there's probably a lot that's gone on behind the scenes. But when man was talking about, he was getting the mum was getting 6,700 a month, and then my man was saying, well, what was your mum doing? And he's like, my mum can't work because you would have to put me in daycare. And it's like, I hear that, but he was like, what's your mum's contribution? Like the whole thing shouldn't be like, you lot are just surviving off my man's money. And it's true, I see some of the comments, and some of the comments were right though. They're like, they're like, this guy, my man, probably would have got some opportunities, and a lot of the stuff that 50's been doing. But obviously, the way obviously things have been for him growing up with his mum, is just like, right, you can't have no relationship with my man. And this kind of stems down to how bitter things can be with, when people that have kids break up and stuff, and the impact it can have on a child. Because personally, I don't fully so much blame him. He's probably at a stage where he's heard so much bad stuff about his dad in terms of what else he should have, that he just feels like, right, I should have more. He sees his dad, behind, is it Power, is it BMF, Power Book, all these things. He's thinking, right, maybe cool, I should have something in this. But his mum's ensured that he hasn't had a relationship with his dad, or whatever she said, and it's impacted him to a stage now where he was on the thing just being hella disrespectful. But like I said, we don't know man's full situation, but it looks like a clear example of what happens when you've been coached, and not coached in a good way, by a bitter person, to have hatred towards someone. And again, that's just my opinion. If man feel a way about it, so be it. But that's the way it looks to the majority of people. And he had some backup dancer on the live with him, hyping him up, and it's like, rah. And when my man asked him, you got a girlfriend? He's like, yeah. Did your girlfriend work? Or does she pay any bills? He was like, oh yeah, she pays this bill. It's like, huh, what? So he's like, man, what was your mum's contribution? But man can't answer that. It's like that question's null and void. But it's like, my man should have been giving us more. It's like, So for years I've heard 50 say he's very entitled. Even in his audio book, it's like about he wanted to do this thing with him with trainers, but it's like, man don't want to do that. Man just wants the paper. So I fully see it from 50's part now. And again, like I said, it's from what we see. Before my man spoke, he'd be like, you don't even know the situation. When we hear 50 say that my man's entitled, you don't know. But the way he spoke on that thing was like a real entitled prat. And that's no disrespect to the guy, because I don't know him. But at the end of the day, people can only judge you by what you put out there. And for me, what he put out there wasn't a good look at all. So yeah, man, that's my thoughts on that. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and if you haven't already done so, hit the subscribe button now, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.